Hi, I'm Shriram Sridharan, co-founder and CTO here at Rocks. Welcome to the third episode of the series where we walk through the new revenue stack. Last time, we covered the semantics, which is how to teach the agents what the data means so they stop guessing and start reasoning in revenue terms. But semantics alone doesn't make an agent safe to deploy. An agent can fail in two ways. It sees too little and gives wrong answers, or it sees too much and never clears security. This episode is about fixing that by ingesting governance alongside the data and unifying the permissions into one model so you can answer who can see what and why and govern agents as identities just like you do humans. Here's the truth for most teams today. One person will connect an MCP server to an agent and let it work on account. It produces relevant outputs and people love the demo. However, this is just single player mode. It only works for one person who carries the same set of credentials. Sales, however, is multiplayer. The moment you roll this out to an entire org, every person carries different access. There is no unified way to govern it. IT asks who can see it, nobody can answer, and the rollout will stall right there. Governance is what takes you from single player to multiplayer. The uncomfortable part is that governance already exists in every one of these systems. That's the problem. Your CRM spent 20 years building one of the most flexible permissioning models into software and locks you into it. Your warehouse has its catalog with its own grants. Your call recorder has its own sharing model. And your email are the opposite case with no permissioning model at all. Just a sender, a recipient, and whatever was set. That's 4 different systems, 3 competing models, and a gaping hole. And a person in IT cannot look across them and tell you who has access to a given deal. The answer is scattered across products that don't talk to each other. So the first move is to ingest governance itself alongside the data. And when the data flows into the lake, the permissions flow in with it. Emails are the sensitive case because emails has no permission layer at all. An email is just an email. So we have a smart filter here. A filter runs at ingestion and only what should be readable ever gets stored. You decide what belongs in the system before it even exists in the system. Now, let's cover the part that sounds impossible. The skeptic will say you can't replicate CRM permissions because the model is just monstrous between permission sets, sharing rules, org-wide defaults, role hierarchies, territories, so on and so forth. In practice, 20 years of all that complexity actually comes down to only 3 things. First is access to objects, which are your tables. Access to records, which are your rows. And access to fields, which are your columns. Nearly everything a CRM does is a combination of those 3, and the same holds for your warehouse catalog and other systems. So you pick one system as your base. If you're CRM-first, start there. If your warehouse is already your system of record, start with its catalog. Translate every other system down to the same 3 primitives, layer them on top, and you have one governance layer sitting on the lake. And above it, you have your hierarchies, which is role-based, territory-based, manager roll-ups, so on and so forth. And now, there's just one model to reason about, no matter which system the data came from. All of that work buys you 2 side effects. 1, access provenance. A RevOps leader can finally answer in one place who has access to this record across every system and exactly where that access came from. 2, you can run your agents at scale. With a single pane of glass for governance, you can unleash agents as first-class entities, governed with the same control as humans, checked on every query every time. So the ontology tells your agents what the data means. The governance decides who should get to see it. We covered all 3 of them. That leaves one question hanging on this arrow. When an agent needs an answer, how does it ask? In revenue terms, accounts, deals, and risk rather than raw SQL against 1,000 tables. We'll cover this in the next section. See ya.